So, we have an updated salary cap after T. Higgins got his franchise tag. And yes, it's officially though 21.816 million, which is the exclusive franchise tag. Now, currently Cincinnati Bengals sit at a $50.67 million cap, which, they are now going to have to start getting things worked out and figured out. And the first thing they're going to have to get figured out is going to be this boy right here. And that is going to be Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase's, extension is going to have to happen this offseason. He's been very vocal that he wants to get paid, especially now that Justin Jefferson is going to get his money. He wants to get equal, if not more than Justin Jefferson. So a lot of that $50 million right away is going to get eaten up because of Ja'Marr Chase's contract. But going off, as they say, from the horse's mouth here, Chase has said that the money that he wants is not going to be from the same place that T. Higgins is asking from. Now, T. Higgins would be asking from the salary cap. Chase is, in theory then, would not be asking from the salary cap, which means he might want more signing bonus and more money up front, which, again, could help us out in the long run for the salary cap, but in the long run would cost us more money, which, to be honest, as fans, we don't really care. As Mike Brown, he really cares because that's money out of his pocket. So it really comes down to money out of Mike Brown's pocket that he really cares about. Because what we can always do with Chase is we could put more money into a signing bonus, right? Push it out 5 years for voidable years, and then he gets less money against the salary cap every single year, but he gets a boatload of money at the end. We're talking about you could put up to $100 million in these voidable years and pay him $20 million a year for the 5 years after that. Now, here is the problem / dilemma with that. Is the fact if you do that, you still got to pay him. And when voidable years hit, they count against the salary cap. They do. So, in theory, if we were to sign him to, I don't know, let's say a 7-year contract would work out so well for us, I'm not going to lie to you. But let's say it worked out a 5-year contract, right? That's usually what these receivers are going to get paid. A 5-year contract, we put 5 years after in voidable years, so it ends up being a 10-year contract. 5 playable years, 5 voidable years, right? If we did that, that means he'd be 29 when his next contract hits, or when he's up for another contract. The problem with that, and again, you can't get rid of voidable years. They're guaranteed money at the start of each league new year. So, which is March 13th. The problem with that is if you push that money toward the future of the $5 million, well, when he's 29 years old, and you're like, okay, well, let's work out a new contract with him. Whatever contract you give him, his salary cap hit is going to be whatever plus 20. And you obviously know he's going to want to get paid big boy money. So if you do that, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up getting a receiver who costing you $60 million against the cap every single year. Now, could he do the same thing with the 5 voidable years in the future? Yes, he could. And then maybe that could even out the $30 million a year for the receiver. This is why they say the salary cap is a myth. That's why I say the salary cap is fake. Because you can manipulate it as much as you want. The Saints have been doing it for years. It's all going to come back and bite them in the end. So I talk about the 5 years in the future, the 5 more years, voidable years. You can always manipulate the salary cap, though, to your advantage. And that's what we're going to have to do with Chase. And if Chase is okay with that, and he's like, hey, listen, man, I want more money overall-wise, but I'll take it in the future. I just want that green. Fine. We'll let you do that, Chase. We'll give you all the money you want. We're going to push the can down the road, okay? For the next 5 years, we're going to go win a Super Bowls, and we're going to have a absolute unstoppable squad. We'll figure that out in the future. That's one solution for the Chase problem. That helps us out with the 50 million .6 problem. Because if Chase worked with us and used voidable years, well, we can figure out T. Higgins' issue. Now, the good thing about T. Higgins' contract is when he does get a contract, it most likely will be, and I think based on what salary cap experts are saying, a 5-year, $100 million contract, fully guaranteed, averaging around 20 a year. So it's going to be pretty much exactly what his contract is now. It's just going to be 20 million instead of 21,816 million. And also, it's going to be a 5-year contract. Now, I don't know. We're not going to be able to do voidable years with him because it's fully guaranteed. Well, I mean, no, we can actually do voidable years with him, but I don't think we're going to, and I don't think he wants to. So that 21.816, even if we work out a long-term contract, probably will stand in the end. That probably will stick it, not changing at all. Chase's contract could potentially change when it comes to, well, his 9.8 will probably change, go up, but it won't be that crazy drastic difference. Which, if everything works out, hopefully, after these two guys, we could maybe sit around $30 million in the salary cap. Which actually is really freaking good. It depends on how Chase's contract works out. Right? That's all what this ends up depending on here. If that's the case, we have $30 million, then we can work out some of these other contracts. And again, like I said before, DJ Reader, he's the guy I care about the most. Good thing about DJ Reader is he's 30 years old, right? His market value is $15 million a year. That's his market value. Doesn't mean he won't take less money to come back and play for us, because he wants to play for us. Market value $15 million a year. He's coming off injury. He probably will not be ready until at least week 3, week 4 of next year. And that's my speculation. That's not based on any sources. That's my speculation. I might be completely incorrect. He might be back by training camp. I am going off a timetable of the last time that he played and tore his quads, which was 2021. No, actually 2020, December. And I'm just going off that timetable yet again, okay? It was actually November. This is the timetable before. It would put him at week 3 of the regular season. He could be fine before that. He could be fine way before that. I'm just going off timetables, okay? So if that's the case, then he might take a team-friendly deal. And I know I originally said, like, when I first talked about this a couple months ago, I was like, $9 million. He's not going to take $9 million. Looking more into it, he'll probably want around 13. 13, maybe 12. And think about him, right, is he's 30 years old. We signed Geno Atkins way back in the day to a 4-year contract for $72 million when he was 30. He played 2 years and then he retired. Now I don't think DJ Reader, although second quad tear, trust me, you start thinking about retirement at that point, right? Because he's just second quad tear. I don't think he's gonna retire after his second quad tear. But I will say, because I was originally thinking about that, but the more I read into it and, hear him talk and hear him go through everything, it doesn't seem like he's going to retire at all. Could you give him a Geno Atkins deal? No, I would say. And the one reason I would say no is because you don't want to pay him that much. Because 4 years, that's $18 million a year. I think you, realistically speaking, give him 12.5 per year. And you could use voidable years, put a little bit in the signing bonus, push it down the road. I know you're pushing a lot of money now down the road, but that's really what you got to do with this team. You have a window, and I think the window is open as long as Joe Burrow is on this team. But at the end of the day, you have a super window right now where you have all these guys who can come back and play and be very successful at a high level. Now, you're going to have to go out there and get some free agents, right? You're going to have to go ahead and hit on your draft picks. But this squad right now, it has the base level, I will say, that is a Super Bowl team. It has the base core that's a Super Bowl team. I'm not saying that you don't need to add players. You do. You need to add a second defensive tackle, especially if you don't bring back DJ Reader. You're going to need to add a cornerback of some kind. You're going to need to fire Frank Pollock. You're going to need to hire or get probably another veteran safety because Nick Scott is trash can. You're going to have to go out there and get a veteran tight end in free agency and probably draft one. You're going to have to go out there and get 2 starting right tackles potentially and draft one. you're going to have to get these backups. You're going to have to figure out this with limited money. 30 million, a little bit, maybe a little bit less than that. Again, it depends on Chase's contract. You're going to have to figure that out. Now, the good thing is about the players we have, Tyler Boyd, he's not coming back. I love him, but he's just not coming back. Jonah, he's not coming back. He might. See, the thing about Jonah, and here's how I look at it, right? If I'm the Bengals, I let him hit free agency. I let him hit free agency. But what I say is, Jonah, you go hit free agency. Go find yourself a team that wants you. If nobody wants you, you come back here. We'll give you a 1-year prove-it deal. And I put him as backup left tackle, and I don't mess around anything with him on the right side. Cheeto's going. Apparently, Cheeto's going to the Steelers, which I think was freaking hilarious. Please take him. And there's nothing wrong with Cheeto. He has been the same since his injury. That's pretty much all it is. Max, we're bringing back. Like, all these guys we're bringing back. No, we won't. Don't let myself group you in this group of we're going to bring you back, because you're not coming back anywhere near this place. I don't even want you in Minnesota, because that's way too close to Ohio. Anyway, but everyone else we're bringing back, except for that trash can Aaron Smith. Yeah, so, and then we just have the money to figure out the whole situation with free agents. I think we'll be fine, guys. We'll definitely be fine. It's just we're going to have to, again, this Chase contract and T's contract, it's going to dictate everything. It really will. And I mean, obviously that's how it's always been, right? The three amigos, as you would call them, bringing them back together. Chase, Burrow, and T. That's really how it's always been. And once we figure out those numbers, everything else just falls into place, right? Everything else just figures itself out. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys next one.